Good morning, you magnificent adventurers. Michigan has a lot of firsts. The first electric traffic light, the first painted center line, the first crow's nest, the first concrete highway. But we're going to investigate an obscure first in the wilderness just south of Saranac, Michigan. I'm Chuck.
I'm Poppins.
We're going to check out the first roadside table.
So we're on Grand River Avenue. It used to be an old native trail, 210 miles running from Muskegon through Grand Rapids, Lansing to Detroit. In 1926, it became named US 16.
So the 1920s travel by road was kind of precarious in that the maps were inaccurate. You had maintenance issues in the car that always needed to be repaired. They were dirt roads. They were in poor shape. So a lot of times there were breakdowns and it wasn't uncommon for travelers or motorists to bring emergency food. And then in 1929, an Ionia County road commissioner named Alan Williams had observed over a few years a bunch of families that were just kind of alongside the road with their picnic table cloths and blankets, and they were sitting on stumps trying to eat their meal because there wasn't a lot of places to stop. If you were stopping on private land, you were kicked off a lot of times. So he had the idea to put a roadside table along the road. So he built the first roadside table out of scrap lumber from decommissioned guardrails. So we're on a road trip today to check out a bunch of cool stuff. So just down the road from our place, I don't know, 5 miles or so, is this roadside table. So we thought we'd stop by and check it out. And it's interesting, all it is, there's no vending machines, there's no highway maps, there's no toilets, there's no bathrooms. The only thing we have here is a really deep gully that we overlook, which I think is kind of cool. We have a picnic table and a trash can chained to a tree. So this place has a roadside plaque that proclaims it was the first roadside table. And that's actually kind of in dispute, but we'll get to that. But here's the thing. Alan put the table on state property. You can see that we're only like 20 feet from the road. So he put this roadside table on state property and he thought he was gonna get yelled at by the state for doing that. So he was summoned to the State Road Commission office thinking he's in trouble. But here's the thing, he wasn't in trouble. The state chief of highway maintenance actually wanted to talk to him because he loved the idea. In fact, he ordered dozens of picnic tables during that meeting. So after they had placed their first few hundred tables, they started getting pieces of mail from all over the country, from as far away as Texas and Washington and Florida, and those pieces of letter raved about the tables. People loved them. So over the next few years, Alan and another employee from the Ionia County Road Commission, Jacob Moore, spent a lot of time making over 1,000 tables. But they couldn't keep up, and the state eventually took over. And Alan Williams was credited, and I quote, from the State Department of Transportation with building and placing the first publicly accessible roadside picnic table on state government right-of-way in 1929. But 10 years earlier in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, Herbert Larson was credited with the first roadside park. And they put a picnic table there 10 years before Alan Williams put it here. He had convinced the Iron County Road Commission to purchase 320 acres of land of virgin timber to set it aside as a forest preserve. And the Michigan Department of Transportation credits Larson with the first roadside park and Williams with the first roadside table. A lot of people will say, well, there really isn't a difference, but I kind of disagree because they purchased their land with the express purpose of a forest preserve of virgin timber. But here, Williams placed the picnic table just to place a picnic table for motorists to stop at on state property. So to me, it doesn't really matter. They're both firsts, but I'm sure I'll get some passionate and poorly worded comments arguing that point. And I'm looking forward to it. And I'm Chuck.
And I'm Poppins.
I hope you marvelous adventurers have a great day, and we'll see you on the road somewhere.